So guys, do you remember a couple of days ago when I wrote a comment on Christian's video and said you should do this edit of your dogs and have a drone go up in the sky and record you with your dogs and then come back down and kind of swoop over them and kind of do a shot where you're following, do a shot where you go over top of them? Well, check this out. I don't know if he saw it or this is just an insane coincidence, but he did an edit with his two huskies that it looks like the direction that I gave. And so if it is, that's freaking amazing. If it's not, that's still awesome and ironic and coincidental and cool. So check this out, guys. Now guys, I know that's not exactly like the direction that I gave it, but does that not look so much like the description that I wrote on his video a couple days ago? If you haven't looked at it, go back and look. It's not yesterday, but the day before that, the start of the video, I wrote a comment telling him what he should do with like a dog montage / dog edit, but it was with Flex and Ava, but he did one with his two huskies. So I really hope that Christian saw that and was like, I should do that, but I'm going to do it with the huskies. And then he did it, because he did the things where the drone was up and the drone came back down, and he did a lot of the stuff that I talked about. It could just be a coincidence, but hey, I'm stoked that it feels like he might have saw my comment. Let's go work out, guys. The gym is right there. I know I'm not actually inside the gym, but we're about to go inside the gym. So. Let's do it! Ooh, man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Nervous. Whew. Gotta get this nervousness out. Guys, I can't tell you how good it feels to set a goal at the beginning of the year in January. I set a goal to hit 500 on deadlift at the end of the year. When I started out, guys, at the beginning of the year, when I started deadlifting, that's actually when I started. I started deadlifting this year. Never did it, ever. I've been lifting for 10 years, never deadlifted until 2016. The goal was to hit 500 at the end of the year. At the beginning of the year, I was hitting 315 for 2, guys. It feels amazing to set a goal in January 2016 and accomplish that goal in December of 2016. I can't explain to you guys how good it feels when you set a goal, a yearly goal, like a big-ass goal, and accomplish it. It feels freaking amazing, guys. Set goals. Achieve goals. I promise you, it will put you on top of the world, even if your life sucks. I'm not saying my life sucks, I'm just saying this is how you grow as a human being. This is why the gym helps people. This is why the gym helps people from getting bullied, from getting off of drugs, from getting away from the crap in life. This is why the gym helps people. You leaving? He was supposed to do some leg stuff with me, some leg accessory work, and then he left. Look at that. I was like having my rant with you guys, and then he was like, I was like, we were about to do some leg stuff, and you thought he'd take the opportunity while I was in here talking to you guys to go ahead and scoot on out of here. I see you. Sly. Good job, sir. So guys, to kind of end the video out, I kind of wanted to just talk about how my deadlift has progressed over the years. So, like I said earlier at the gym, I didn't actually start deadlifting until 2016, and that's basically because I was always told that it was bad for my bad knee, and I could never, it was a bad idea by multiple people that I should never deadlift, that I should never squat heavy because I have this bad knee because I got jumped. So it wasn't until January of 2016 that I decided to try deadlift, and at that try sumo deadlift because the range of motion is not that bad, and so I don't have to put this right leg past a 90-degree angle to do a sumo deadlift, not at all. So like, alright, that shouldn't be any pressure at all on my knee, and actually deadlifts don't hurt my knees as bad as squats do. Squats past parallel, I can feel it a little bit in my right knee, but deadlifts, not so much. So I started out in January hitting 315 for about 2 reps, and that was pretty heavy for me because the adaptation was not there, the form was not there. I just needed to get used to the movement. So after about a month, I was getting 315 for 3 to 5 reps, and I bumped it up to hitting deadlift twice a week. And what I would do is on Monday I would hit 315 for anywhere between 3 to 5 reps. I remember getting, after about 2 or 3 months, a 5x5 of 315, and on the secondary deadlift day, or secondary leg day as I would call it, I would hit 275 for 3 sets of 8 to 10 on deadlift. That's kind of what I did for almost a year. So I worked up to, I think it took me about 4 or 5 months, but I worked up to getting 3 sets of 10 with 315 on the power day, and I was literally getting like 275 for like 16, 18 reps. So I moved up to about 335 for sets of 3 to 5, and I was doing that on the power day, and then on the hypertrophy day I was doing 315 for sets of 8, like 4 or 5 sets of 8, and then I got to a point where I was hitting like 355 for sets of 3 or 4 on my power day, and I was hitting 315 for 10 to 12 on my hypertrophy day, which is insane because in January I was getting 315 for 2, and in less than 6 months I was getting it for 12, which is awesome. So really stoked about that. I think about 6-7 months in, I ended up getting 4 or 5 for a single, and it was pretty hard, and that was it for a while. So I started working with 4 or 5 on my power days. I got it for a double like 2 months later, and then 2.5 months later I got it for a triple, and then 4 months later. So basically about 3 months ago I started getting 4 or 5 for like 5 to 7 reps. And then finally I was like, I'm gonna really crank this up. So I ended up getting 4 or 5 for like 11 reps a couple weeks ago. So it was a very steady, gradual process of 315 for 1 rep, 315 for 2 reps, 315 for 3, 315s for 2 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3, 5 sets of 3, 315 for a couple sets of 4, 315 for a couple sets of 5, 315 for a 5x5, 315 for a couple sets of 6, 315 for 3 sets of 6, a couple sets of 7, 3 sets of 7, 2 or 3 sets of 8. I slowly worked up, and once I would get close to that 10 rep range, I would switch the lift. I would switch that number that was my power number over to my hypertrophy number. So I'd be working with that same weight for hypertrophy sets, higher sets, like 8 to 10 to 12 reps, and then I would have a new power number. And so basically my power number, as I'll call it, was 315 at the beginning of the year. And towards the end of the year, it became 405, and it stayed there until I got 405 for around 10 reps. And then I jumped that up to 425, and then here recently I jumped it up to 455. It's a slow process, guys. It's a slow process. It took me literally 12 months of making 5 to 10 pound jumps every week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks to get from 315 to 500. So yeah, I could really talk about this for a while. But the 2 things that helped me get stronger on deadlift were, number 1, frequency. So doing it twice a week, getting that adaptation to the movement, all that sort of stuff, that it helps you a lot in the beginning, and just getting used to the movement. And number 2, I would say being on a progression scheme. Being on some sort of deadlift progression scheme, whether you get that from me as a coach or me as part of one of the programs that I offer, whether that's Alpha 100 or just my physique program, or from someone else, or whether you do some research and make your own progression scheme. That make sure that if you do your progression scheme, that it's something that's going to work for you. It could be any progression scheme. It could be 7-6-5. It could be a 5x5 and then drop to a 3x3 and then do like a couple heavy sets of 2. It could be whatever you want. It's math. It's math. It's your genetics. It's your body. It's your potential. It's a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, if you want to move forward, get stronger on your lifts, build a better physique, it's just progression. It's getting more reps, getting more weight, adding more frequency, less time in between sets, getting faster with your reps. It's so many different things, guys, but you just have to start working on those things and kind of, and pick just a couple of ways to progress and progress in that to a certain point, and then maybe change your progression to a different way when you get bored with that. And there are so many different ways to progress, guys, that it really never gets old, because you could say, all right, this next 6 months, I'm going to take to deadlift, to progress my deadlift with speed, and I'm going to stay really low reps, like between 5, 4, and 3. And then you could take the 6 months after that to take that same weight and turn it into like a hypertrophy type of workout. So you're using that same weight with more speed, and you're doing a lot more reps, and over time you'll build strength and muscle doing that. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the video. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out in some sort of way as far as gaining strength on the deadlift over time. Until next time, guys, all love. Like if you enjoyed this video. That really helps us out, as you probably already know. Comment if you have any questions or concerns. Until next time, guys, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. All love.